Hey everybody, Jordan from Back Society here. Do me a favor and click that subscribe button below and hit the bell icon so you don't miss a single episode. Now, back to grinding.
We're officially 1 week after the U.S. presidential elections.
The 2024 election has been called, folks.
It has been called. Donald Trump. Depending on who you ask, it was either a complete shock or it was like inevitable. Like it's one or the other.
I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked.
Yeah.
Really?
Our voting system, I don't think a voting system is rigged now. I was like, man, for the longest time.
Wait a minute.
Storyline, dude.
You thought it was gonna be rigged?
100%, dude.
By who?
Are you kidding me?
I love the rig thing because now all the Trumpers are like, this is the safest election, fair and free we ever had.
That's not
and
you know what I've been hearing from them? They're just like, oh wow, where was the 20 million from 2020? That must have been the fake votes.
That is a problem. That's how bad of a candidate
that is a problem.
Kamala was. She literally lost 20 million votes.
Yeah.
But also, it's also not COVID. People aren't sitting around. COVID's an anomaly. I don't think you can build that into the calculus. You know what I mean?
I think you can take the push to vote against Trump from COVID. Once you take that away, people don't have the urgency. Because the Democrats were back in power, people were less engaged in the political sphere. I mean, that was one of the things that Joe Biden was running on was back to brunch, as soon as he won.
Yeah. It was all about being back to, but that's what I'm saying. Like 2020 was like, it was a referendum on Trump and his handling of COVID. Right. People were pissed because like shit was locked down. And even if it wasn't Trump, it was like the ineffective and like the inert level at the White House at the time. They didn't know what to do. Right. I told everybody, I was like, if he handled COVID better, he would have won.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's no way
he would have won. They literally,
there's no way.
100% he would have won.
He would have won.
Dude, Biden had won the most popular vote by far.
Yeah, because people weren't working, dude. What are people gonna do? And then there's also a lot more mail-in ballots,
and people were a lot more engaged in the political sphere.
It was crazy. You kind of forget. Like 2020 was a different world, man.
Yeah. People had nothing better to do than sit at home because everyone was furloughed to like sit and be engaged in the political sphere. And not to mention the COVID handling was pretty bad. So
it was really bad. You saw a lot of turnover at the state level too. Like it was crazy. It was a crazy election.
It was 100% an anomaly. It was a crazy anomaly. I mean, would I go back to COVID? I learned a lot and had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie.
I made it count.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. But like, I love that. But also at the same time, you could still do the whole thing like, damn, like Kamala was supposed to have this huge grassroots push, and depending on what channel you watched, it was the most well-run campaign in history, and yet she couldn't even drive out everybody who voted for Trump. But what I also thought was interesting is Trump gained in almost 1,000 counties or more throughout the United States, right? His gains were crazy throughout the entire United States, but his overall vote count did not go up that much compared to the 2020 election.
It didn't. No, pretty much really,
which is interesting.
Amount. I think
so. He also lost a lot of votes in other places. I don't know where, but I just thought that was interesting.
I think it was definitely a referendum on. I think it was mostly the economy that really won it.
Oh,
definitely the bread and butter issues like groceries being too high. I think that's what really won out for him in the end. I didn't really do a whole deep dive into it. I've kind of just been checked out a little bit, but that's what my base.
I thought Kamala's campaign was horrible.
It was bad. I didn't think it was good at all.
Horrible.
I think it was fine.
They just threw her. They were like, Biden's not running. They were like, you know what? We can't let this guy run. Kamala. They kind of literally.
I mean, what was the alternative to an open primary that was going to last probably a month or two? Like what, 2 months out, 2-3 months out from the election?
But I'm saying is,
in the end, you're throwing somebody out eventually.
They're like,
he should have never run. That's really the big thing.
No, he shouldn't have. But then, the true owner of the Democratic Party decided to flex her muscles, and he was out.
And now she's throwing them all under the bus. Did you hear what Nancy Pelosi was saying?
No, I didn't see.
Oh,
I saw a picture
yeah.
of her crying, and that was it.
She was like, yeah, we weren't expecting him to endorse Kamala. She was like, the expectation was we were going to go to an open primary. And then Biden, because he was so pissed, he just endorsed Kamala. And they're like, well, now we got to run her. That's what Nancy Pelosi said to like the New York Times, dude.
Dude, she is so funny.
There is wild, bro. The exit polling said, it was economy and then immigration was number 2. Was like the number 2 issue.
It's gonna be immigration should be the most interesting thing. That and the tariffs, if that actually happens. I'm not gonna mind. I'm keeping my assets close to my chest with that tariff thing if it might happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on how they do tariffs. It's got to be.
We'll see. I mean, who's gonna honestly stop him? He's stacking people in his cabinet with just loyalists, and he has Congress and he has the Supreme Court. Who's really gonna stop him if he decides to just throw it to the wall?
Well, I mean, the American people. Like, he's still got a 2026 election to worry about. If shit gets too bad, he ain't gonna have a unified majority in both houses.
I mean, if he can get it done before then.
Well,
hold on. No. Do you think he will do what he will say?
No, I think he's already backpedaling on a bunch of stuff based on who he's already putting in his cabinet. Like Marco Rubio is tapped for Secretary of State, bro.
State, I know the anti-war guy. Let's make Marco Rubio Secretary of State very compelling.
Yeah,
hold on. So you're saying he's not, or he is backing it up?
No, he's backpedaling.
He's backpedaling.
He's not backing it up.
He just said shit. Like, I was saying this throughout his campaign run that he's just yapping, and he was just yapping.
Yeah. Now he is putting he brought back the guy who did the China stuff, Lighthizer. Mm-hmm. So that makes sense. That's going to be more on the tariff side. He's putting that dude in charge of the borders. The borders are or whatever.
Bodies in the street, man.
It's pretty interesting who he's bringing in. Like, it's still like a couple neocons, and then some like kind of outsiders, but not really. I think it's gonna be interesting more in the last couple of days, but
his co-presidency is going to be really interesting.
I did not think that Kamala ran a good campaign. I thought it was pretty bad. I think the echo chamber was too loud. I think
as a normal campaign, it was very run of the mill campaign. It was fine.
I think they dropped the ball the last 2 weeks.
Did Trump change the landscape of campaigning? Yeah, in which case it probably fell short. I think we're just so used to a different breed because this is the third time we've had this campaign,
She probably didn't even know that she was running until Joe Biden probably said her name. And then they're like, oh, man.
For a while. There's no way. I mean, in 2020, she ran in the primary.
There's no way because she couldn't answer questions. She had that word salad that was so terrible.
I mean, we forgive Trump for not answering questions.
Yeah, but Trump does it on a different level. He takes you on a ride. He takes you on a journey.
Okay, so if Kamala could take you on a journey of not answering a question, then that would have been better.
Well, the thing
100%
is, dizzy when she's talking. You're just like, wait, how'd I get back to here?
I mean, I get the same feeling when I hear Trump talk.
So Trump to me meanders where Kamala circles the drain. Or with Trump, I'm like, where the hell is this going? I'm like, oh, here we go. Like, this is gonna be
rambles.
He just rambles. Where Kamala, she's just speaking, and you're like, I think there's something there, like, and it just seems like she just circles around the point.
There's nothing there for me. There's like nothing.
Trump just goes on a tangent, and you're just like, this has nothing to do with it.
I think the thing for me is that I never really cared that much because politicians, no matter what, don't really answer anything. So I never really saw it as an indictment, I guess, because no one does.
They're all psychopaths.
Well, I
Or
don't say I don't
sociopaths.
say they don't. I think they say way more during a campaign than not. It's usually when they're governing is when they don't say anything because they don't want to put their foot in their mouth. But usually when they're campaigning, they'll say whatever the hell you want them to say. Trump did.
Yeah.
Fucking
And now he's
Like,
backpedaling.
legitimately, like he's exhibit A of just saying whatever he was, trending on X or Truth Social.
Oh my god. Oh man.
But
Speaking
you guys
of
think
X,
did
dude,
you guys did you guys think he was gonna win?
Yeah, I thought he was
Like
gonna
when it
win.
was
I didn't think he was gonna win.
I 100% thought he was gonna win.
I didn't think he was gonna win.
I wanted him to, but at the same time I was like, I don't know. I don't know because like Kamala
It was
Kamala
rigged.
has the media machine. You know what I mean? They have all media machine, but I was like, no, something like I was like, he should win because he killed his campaigning, especially
I I didn't think he would win by that large of a margin,
yeah.
like with the electoral votes, but I was like, there's no way she's gonna pull this off. She didn't have enough time.
No, exactly. She didn't have enough time. Everything was rushed on her, and they just pushed her out there, and they're like, "We'll just have every media outlet just
and
hype
I
her
feel
up."
like, and that was the thing, right? And I think she also focused too hard on specific demographics. Instead of trying to talk to everybody. I think that was her biggest issue. And then I think her next big issue was just not just accepting going on some of those podcasts and not those edited interviews, because I think there was a little bit of she probably could have swayed a couple people by just
I don't think the podcast would have saved her at the end of the day.
I don't know if it would have saved her. I think it would have gotten her some more votes. I think it would have, because I think the people who would have voted for her,
again, the people who
didn't vote.
Well, yeah, a lot of people stated a good portion of the base stayed home, but
she didn't give anybody a reason to get out there
the
and
average
vote.
Rogan listener, and 86% were already Trump supporters. I mean, there's a reason Rogan is a little bit audience captured, So I don't think they're going to sway.
Chris brought up a good point, though.
Is going to save him.
Chris brought up a great point. She didn't give nobody a reason to get up and go vote. You know what I mean? Where Trump the economy's messed up. I'm the guy to save it. Joe Biden is not doing anything. You need to go vote. Elon Musk is like, you need to vote right now.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
so we can change.
Far easier things to run on than incumbency.
No. You're not understanding what I'm saying.
No,
Kamala never gave you a reason. What was Kamala's reason for you to go vote?
I said, I'm not saying that she did have a good reason. I'm just saying it's easy to run on everything sucks.
Yeah, but usually that incumbent, there's that incumbent factor that usually is a benefit to most presidents. Obviously not the last two presidents, but for the most part, right? Historically, the incumbent usually wins. But Kamala's problem, she was in a catch-22, right? Because she couldn't, throw Biden under the bus because she's a part of that administration. And then therefore she couldn't deviate policy-wise too much to make it seem like the last 4 years were a waste. You know what I mean?
Well, she couldn't even be honest because people
that's what I mean.
She couldn't be honest about the economy because people don't understand the economy as much as they think they do, or something like that. Basically, Trump says everything sucks. You can pin Biden for inflation and all this, but Trump pretty much absolved himself from COVID. People pretend the inflation is just because Biden went under his desk and dialed up the inflation meter. But
that's where
Trump rode high on the best economy because of what Obama was doing. Then it came crashing down. He caused inflation. He deficit spended like a beast, especially during COVID, just pumping trillions of dollars in the stock market. The supply chain went bad. And then the deficit went up. The supply chain, the global supply chain went bad. Inflation went sky high. We got inflation down. Biden did actually a pretty good job of keeping us at least afloat compared to the other nations, especially in the G7. But unfortunately, because he came into office when inflation was happening, you can't you can't be like, oh, I'm going to fix inflation. He was fixing inflation technically.
Well, he was never fixing anything. Presidents don't control inflation, right? At the end of the day, it's the Federal Reserve that sets the monetary policy for the country.
What about the American Rescue Plan?
That didn't do anything.
I mean, inflation, we're doing way better than the other G7 nations when it comes to inflation. He did something.
We also have a stronger currency, right? Like, and we have, I would say, the Federal Reserve is doing more because they have more leverage to do than the rest of the G7.
Okay.
I just don't think that the laws that are put into place are going to affect inflation that quickly.
Basically, my point is what I'm saying is that the Democrats came in on bad timing. I mean, not bad timing, but they came in the bad place. Obama came in the bad place, and then Trump comes in and runs on. Everyone have this perception that he's just the economy king when he just rode in coattails of someone else's, and he ruined it. And then he's going to be like, "I'll fix it," but everybody wants to pretend that Biden was like president in 2020 for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, he won the election in 2020, but
I mean,
he didn't get in on 2020. He got in 2021.
I just blame it all on COVID. Like, it was gonna happen no matter.
It really was.
I did too, but like at the end of the day, like, why are you deficit spending if the economy is so good? Which he did for like his first 3 years. All he did was spend.
Well, it was just the tax cuts, and then I mean, COVID was really the big deficit spending, and that's Congress. Also, at the end of the day, that's Congress.
I'm just saying, like, I just feel like his economic mastery is just unfounded.
I 100% agree, but I don't even think that was the big issue. I think it was.
Oh, well.
No, I think that was what won, but I think immigration was what he really is trying to hang his hat on because it's tangible.
I mean, yeah,
and the numbers, and the numbers are. They kind of speak for themselves, and you can actually correlate a policy to an administration when it comes to immigration. You know what I mean? Okay. Where like, in 2021, they really did loosen a lot of the laws, and they did a lot of stuff to kind of make it easier for people to come through because it was such a big problem down there. They didn't have the manpower resourcing, so they kind of like loosened a lot of regulations and allowed a lot of people to come in. And then it was like all of a sudden this year they're like, oh yeah, we do kind of have a problem at the border. And it was just, I think that was the biggest thing that he could kind of like wave and be like, and people were like, it's hard to say he's wrong here.
Well, how do you guys feel about the immigration?
I don't live in the United States.
I mean, technically you're an immigrant now, right?
Too many immigrants.
I mean, if it's as bad as like they're saying, like people, I mean, everybody technically in America is immigrants, right?
Well, they're talking about illegal immigrants. That's what they're talking about.
But they really put on illegal immigrants that were violent in their countries that got kicked out for crazy reasons, and now they're coming here, or potential terrorists.
How do you measure that?
I mean,
like how do you know for sure that's happening? How do you measure that?
I don't know how you measure that.
Yeah, weird.
Unless they get check them out. I mean, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. They're finding out after the fact, right? So like California's arresting a lot of illegals that have more, like long rap sheets. I mean, unless you're living in California, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, like the rest of the country doesn't really, I think, feel it as much until they start busing them places, right? Because we did see that with the Texas busing people, and then all of a sudden New York's like, hey, we can't take on all these immigrants. In Chicago and a couple other cities, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's just they can show physical numbers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my bad. And that was the other thing with the election. I mean, they were like, Illinois polls closed. 2 seconds later, Illinois, blue state. Like, I'm like, bro, you didn't even count the votes. How did it already go blue? Everybody that I talked to, especially in the casino, was like, oh, I'm going for Trump. Everybody, Trump. you would see Trump everywhere.
I'm not
And then
surprised casino
polls-
people are going for Trump, to be honest.
and then
That
and
doesn't
then the
shock me at all.
polls close. Illinois. Well, AP already named this
Do they
race.
do they vote on like machines or is it paper ballots in Illinois?
It's paper ballots, but they do sign them into Dominion. Like you scan it.
Yeah, you put it through the scanner.
Yep.
It has to do with how states laws, man.
Oh yeah.
And
Didn't we talk about this?
I think they
Yeah,
do
no, we
start-
did on Signal when I was like,
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
for like a
Question.
lot of states aren't able to like count
until
mail-in
the polls
ballots
close.
or early voting until like polls close. But I think Illinois does count them before that.
Yeah.
So I
So
think
yeah,
that
some
also
states will count them when the polls open. They'll start tabulating,
Mhm.
and then others. I mean, they won't report, but they'll start tabulating.
yeah,
And then
Yeah.
other states won't count until the polls close, which blows my mind. Like, why would you
Yeah,
not have
why?
it running?
Well, that's why a lot of the
tabulation.
swing states take as long as they do.
Yeah, but
well, it makes
yeah,
sense.
why? You're a swing state. Get that shit fixed, bro. It's literally a state law.
I think they just want the attention.
I think they do.
I just think they want.
I
the
really think they
attention.
do. It's crazy, man.
Because
but,
it's like yeah, we're still telling out Pennsylvania and California's like, oh, we know exactly who we got.
no,
right
California
away.
just finished. Dude, it's crazy. Yeah, it
Well,
makes no sense. But here's my favorite thing, right? So we talked about the election denying, right? Now all the MAGA guys are like fair and free election, probably the most secure election of all time.
Funny how
You
that
know?
works.
And now you're seeing like these like hardcore lefties. They're like,
yeah.
the election was stolen. How did this Democratic senator get more votes than Kamala? And the state went red. Like, and they're trying to blame Starlink now. Have you seen this?
I did see there was like a Starlink thing, and like Musk said something about having an app that already knew the result. I don't know. It was all.
No, that came from Dana White. That's like
to it.
no. That was like a Dana White thing. He said that Musk somehow like knew he was getting like insider. I don't know. It didn't really make any sense. But no, what they're trying to say is a lot of people are like these counties and states outsourced. They're like they use Starlink to count the votes, and now he's burning all the Starlinks out because he changed all the votes. And I was like, that's not how Starlink works, guys.
I don't know. I didn't really look into it. I saw one that there was like a lot of ballots that had Trump as in as president, and then it was like just a blue ticket.
Yeah.
Like a blue straight ticket, except for the office of the presidency, and there was like
Which makes
a
sense.
lot.
It's called split ticket voting.
Yeah,
But people are saying that that's impossible.
That's what I did. I mean, like I threw some bones to libertarians and Greens in there.
Yeah, I would say like people like you're gonna have your diehards on both sides who are gonna vote no matter what their color, and then there's still gonna be millions of people who are like, you know what, I'm a Democrat but I can't vote for this person, or I'm a Republican but I can't vote for Trump. You know what I mean? And then they're gonna vote Republican the rest of the ticket, or Democrat the rest of the ticket.
I mean, honestly, I
Like, that
don't understand
happens
people
all the time.
who don't do split tickets. To be honest,
Yeah, I've never voted all one thing.
neither have I. It doesn't make
Ever.
any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it's just pure partisanship.
Yeah.
I voted. I only vote for one.
RFK was on the
Side.
ballot. Did you vote for him?
No, I voted for myself, man. Come on now.
I
You
was
just
Come
raise
on,
yourself
man.
into every single spot that you can.
There was only
Come
one
on
real
now.
answer, and that was writing in Joseph Robinette Biden. That was the
Did
true
people re-
answer.
Did people really write in Biden?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I know 2 people who did.
All right. I mean,
They're just
At
like,
the end of the
no
day-
retirement for you, old man.
They said he was
mean-
gonna lose by 400 electoral.
Oh, I
votes.
saw that. Yeah,
Yeah.
their internal polling was
Yeah.
like crazy. I was like, oh my
That's what
god.
that's what kicked it off.
He's old. He's old.
Dude, he still has it in
Too
him. He's still giving babies some nummies. If you saw that those Halloween pictures,
I'm sick of
He
these
still
people
got it.
defending him.
I'll defend him
too
till
old.
I die, man. I think he's
I mean,
fine.
He should have done what he promised to do and just be a transition president and just moved on, man.
Yeah.
Uh,
like,
I know.
That's where the politician ego comes out.
And now we have to like wheel out Jimmy
Dude.
Carter for one more ride in 2028.
Bro, the pictures of Jimmy Carter is scary. That dude's just a corpse in a fucking wheelchair.
I think he still
Did
has
you-
one more in him.
No, there's no way. How is he still alive?
I don't
They were
know,
like,
man.
you know, they posted that picture. He was so proud to vote for like Kamala Harris, and he just looked
Just dead.
unconscious.
He looks dead. You know
It
what,
was-
man? I mean, you could show that to the QAnon, and that might be proof of adrenochrome.
That is elder abuse, like 100%. They're wheeling this poor man around. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know who Kamala Harris is. There's no way.
I should have wrote in Jimmy Carter.
I mean, he's still eligible. He only had one term.
He only had one term. He has one more in him.
Oh my god, dude. That it's oh my god. When I saw that picture, I was just like, what the fuck?
I know, they're just like, here comes Jimmy Carter. And I was like, are you sure?
Like,
he was just body in a wheelchair, dude. It was insane.
yeah, it's just it was scary, man. I don't know. The conspiracy theories now are just getting even better, dude. Everybody's saying the same stuff on both sides.
It's a horseshoe, man. They're ultimately always going to do that.
Like the far lefties are like saying that, you know, it was rigged. There's no way Trump won all these.
It's not the
all
far
those swing
lefties.
states.
It's just the hardcore liberals. The lefties are just like, hey, we voted green.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's the hardcore Dems, I should say.
But it's so crazy though. It's so crazy now because like I feel like each party is like different. You know what I mean? Like they're like
ultimately the same. I mean, they're
No.
all hardcore partisans. At the end of the
yeah,
day.
but I mean like each Democrat, it's not like the Democrat Party of like 8 years ago. Same with Republicans.
Not the Republican Party
It's
of 8
definitely
years.
Yeah,
not the Republicans.
they're all
If
different.
anyone has changed, it's the Republicans, man. They're more
Huh.
like cult
Are you
of
guys-
personality, cult of alternative everything, cult of fucking just tell me what to think. Oh, you talk anti-vax. They're all about the anti-vax now. They want to deport everybody
Yes,
now.
it's the
Nice, man.
anti-establishment.
Anti-establishment
Democrat thing.
contrarianism. What?
Anti everything used to be a Democrat thing.
Yeah, I know. It's so
Man, I'm not gonna
weird,
say at
right?
this scale.
I'm not saying at this. I'm just the Democrat Party always considered itself anti-establishment, pro-labor, pro-working class, middle class kind of people, you know. And then you had the fringy lefties who are like anti-vax, anti-bathing, anti-whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's definitely quite the shift. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But you know,
Anti-establishment.
It seems more like the Democratic Party have just been moving more and more to the center, and that's more like, you know, like neocon, like encompassing neocon and neoliberalism.
I would totally disagree with that.
I would say so. I mean, like they have their fringes just like the right does, but the right seems like it's way more fringe than the Democratic Party lately.
I would say the right has coalesced around populism where the left hasn't, or the Dems haven't, but they have definitely pushed more left.
I would
Especially
say
in social policy.
level.
And social policy, they've definitely moved way left.
I mean, I guess for social policy, but it's mostly a lot of their social policy is mostly like lip service, like with the whole like BML thing. Like what they did that portrait of them kneeling.
God, that was so funny.
Yeah, but that's like the extent, really.
No, I think definitely more at the local levels you're seeing it being more
Meanwhile,
radical.
you see like the Republicans storming the Capitol.
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's a good thing. But that's not an ideology. That's just crazies. That's what I'm saying. They've coalesced over, around populism itself. I mean, if you think that the Democrats have moved more center, that's because they haven't done anything in the last 4 years.
They definitely are more. I feel like the Democrats are I do feel like they're more centrist, and I do feel like
They're definitely not.
they've definitely dug their heels not only in neocon but also neoliberalism. At least the people who actually run the party, I wouldn't say they're captured by the fringe left at all. I would say they
Yeah,
pay them lip service. They
I'm
throw
not
them a
saying
bone
I'm not
every now
saying
and
Nancy
then. But
Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are. I'm saying the party writ large is moved left.
I wouldn't say, if they move left, I wouldn't think they move left all that much. Not
I
the
completely
not
disagree.
even to the extent of the Republican Party.
I'm not saying to the extent. I'm just saying they have moved further left. They're not centrist because they, you could just look at their stance on immigration, on, most social issues. It's all moving to the left.
I don't know about that. I mean, they were willing to like close the border
After they got so much pressure that they had no other choice.
Yeah, but like,
but they opened it in the first place.
Did they
and
open it? How did they like?
Yeah.
How did they just straight up open it?
Because what they stopped doing was they stopped enforcing certain checkpoints, and then they started not questioning people as they came in for like asylum. They just they gave them like a check sheet, and that's all they had to do, and then they just let them out. We've had more people come across, like, this is just a known fact. More people have come across the board in the last couple of years than ever.
I think, didn't they say like, I forget the number off the top of my head, but yeah, they said it was a lot.
It was like 10 million people.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you could just tell by the ideologies how it shifted. I mean, like, it's so like not even the extreme. Everybody always wants to go to the extreme too, but it's not. It's just so different. It's like we just use these like labels as holdings, but it's not really what people are standing.
Well, one, the center's kind of moved because both of them have moved more to the extremes.
Yeah.
And then whoever you talk to, they're gonna say whatever party they like more is more centrist. If you lean more Democrat, you're gonna say, oh, they're the more reasonable centrist party for sure. And if you lean Republican, you'll be like, they're a little crazy, but they're definitely more of a centrist than the crazy lefties. Everybody's gonna say that.
I still think the Dems are more centrist, especially than the Republicans. I think they haven't moved to the fringes far more than the Republican Party. I think there's a very well chance they may now, because God knows no one wants to talk to neoliberals anymore, or neocons for that matter. So I feel
when you're trotting out Liz Cheney as your best hope to win an election, like, you kind of fucked up, and you're a Democrat. Like, the fact that they had to do that and take Dick Cheney's endorsement, it means they were scared.
They were also like tweeting at George W. to get his endorsement, and I'm just like, oh my fucking God, dude. But like, I mean, not really something a hardcore lefty would want, the Fiona Apples of the party.
Yeah. Did Bush endorse Biden?
Why would he? Why do they even want it?
Well, I'm just saying, I feel like he was talking about, because Bush hasn't endorsed anybody, right?
No.
Although he did offer to, the best story is he offered to endorse Obama.
I don't know why anybody even cares what this man thinks.
Yeah.
Bush?
Yeah, Bush.
Skull and Bones.
Huh?
Bush?
Yeah.
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones, baby.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw you sent that. It was like Vivek and someone else who was Skull and Bones.
JD.
Oh, JD Vance.
JD.
Well, are they actually Skull and Bones, or just you're saying that because they went to Yale?
I'm pretty sure they're Skull and Bones because they were in the same classes together. They're like, yeah, I knew him before all this stuff that was happening. And we were together, and we actually were in the same classes. I was like, oh, can't fool me. Can't bamboozle me. See where you guys are at now.
Well, their most popular talking head, Tucker Carlson, was trying to be a CIA agent, so...
God, let me tell you, the biggest win out of this whole election was the fact that Arizona did not vote in Carrie Lake for Senate. That's the one thing I said that yesterday. I'm so happy about that.
I know.
It's like, how crazy do you have to be where the whole state goes for Trump and she still loses? Like, it blew my mind.
Who is this person?
Carrie Lake.
Carrie Lake. She kind of did the whole like Trump 2020 was rigged, but turned it up to an 11.
Yeah, she's like the Marjorie Taylor Greene of like Arizona, but Arizona's just aren't having it.
Yeah, she's super annoying, man. She's
Dude,
basically just
terrible.
like, my
Complete
election's rigged.
sycophant.
I'm the governor in waiting because she ran for
dude, she's
governor.
got the Karen. She's got the Karen haircut.
She got the Karen haircut. Like she is.
Look her up.
She calls it a power cut.
It's
You know what I mean?
cut, yeah. She's all like the whole like, drag queens are indoctrinating her kids, even though there's like a ton of pictures of her piling around with drag queens, and it's so obvious an act. She's not authentic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She completely sold out, and she was like, she found her niche.
Yeah.
And she went for it, and she's failed multiple times, and every time it's great to see. Like, it's
what
amazing.
is she though?
Nothing.
She's a Democrat.
She's nothing.
She's a Republican. She's a diehard Trumper.
She was like a TV governor turned politician, or at least that was her new niche. She used to be a TV anchor.
Yeah, she was like a TV. Yeah, like a news anchor, right?
Yeah,
in
like
Arizona.
And then somebody said, "You know what? You should run." And she really ran for it.
Yo, she went hard on the Trump train.
It was so funny.
She was all in.
There was like a video of her like a couple of years ago, and she did like the whole I heard Trump was coming, and so we rolled out the red carpet, and only I can vacuum it because only I will make it clean enough for the former president. And it was just
how
weird,
do you guys know
man?
all these senators?
Because dude, they make themselves clownish, and then you just can't stop watching, man. Like,
that's crazy.
It's every election there's going to be a few people that get trotted out, and they just do anything they can to get attention.
She's the absolute worst, though. She's the worst.
Oh man, Marjorie Taylor Greene is pretty bad. Boebert's pretty bad. Fetterman's pretty bad.
Oh my god, dude, Fetterman. Oh, I feel bad for that. That guy needs talk about. He's the Tua of the Senate. You know what I mean? Like that dude needs to hang it up, bro.
Dude, he shouldn't have even been. Oh my god, he was a terrible candidate to begin with. He wasn't great. He fucking.
What are you talking about? He's an everyday guy. He's an everyday Democrat.
He never fucking was. I mean, like if you looked into his backstory and who he was never that great.
No, I never said he was. I'm not a fan of the guy.
But like, he just
floating
happened
for 2028.
He just happened to like run against a nationally known fraudster.
Yeah, it was pretty easy to beat Dr. Oz. Yeah. That's for sure. He didn't have to really try very hard. I mean, he was lucky enough that he was already lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken. And
he kind of made himself like a whole like green champion and resistance lib. So that helped him out, especially when that wave was happening.
That's for sure.
Welcome back, the resistance. Welcome back, right? We're doing this again, baby. Let's do it. 2.0.
But I'll tell you what, the Senate Republicans are trying to build a wall right now.
Why wouldn't they?
Well, I mean, against Trump, I think a little bit, right? McConnell's stepping down, right? They're holding that secret vote tomorrow, and right now the leader is kind of like a classic neocon. You know what I mean? Like,
they're holding a secret vote tomorrow.
For Senate leadership.
Who do you think it's going to be?
Everybody's leaning towards Thune. That seems to be the betting odds. Yeah,
my betting odds on Cotton.
No, he's not even. I don't think he's in the running, is he?
I would be surprised if he's not.
Because who's the other guy that shit? What's his name? That Rand Paul's backing. Oh my gosh!
Is his son a senator? Was he
who?
Is he or his son Rand Paul? Is he a senator or in the House? I can't remember.
Rand Paul? Rand Paul's a senator.
Yeah, there you go. Back Rand Paul.
No, Rand Paul is backing somebody else.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He damn, who does he want?
Can it be Susan Collins?
No, is she still even like relevant?
Yeah, she's still relevant.
In a
way.
Not anymore.
I mean, she was the one who's just like, I think we could forgive. Oh, there's also like, we can also get like Lindsey Graham or maybe Ted Cruz. I don't.
Somebody's saying that they're trying to get Lindsey Graham for Secretary of Defense. I don't know if that's true, but that'd be wild.
I guess if they have to like back. God, there's Lisa Murkowski. I mean, what about Mike Lee from Utah? I guess.
I hate Mike Lee.
As long as it's not John Kennedy. I hate that guy. He was the one that made that commercial. You know,
Yeah, I hate that guy.
Next time you have a criminal, don't call the police. Call a crackhead.
I mean, he said some wild shit. Dude.
I love it when they were going through the whole like book thing, and he was like going through like I think it was like some queer book.
Rick Scott, that's who Rand Paul's backing for Senate Majority Leader.
Oh, the Social Security, get rid of her. Okay.
Yeah. He's backing Rick Scott, and a lot of people are backing Thune. Who's more classic, neocon. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
Scott would be a disaster.
Oh yeah,
he barely hung on his race, as I recall. I was paying attention to his.
Well, yeah. I mean, but what they're trying to do though is they're trying to get the votes in before the new session and all these new senators get sworn in.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense. I mean, Kamala's still a tiebreaker.
Yeah, for 2 more months.
Did you see that one liberal thing where they said I forget, it was some dude probably from the Lincoln Project started the thing where it's just like Biden's to step down and at least give Kamala a chance to be a temporary.
No, that was a dude on CNN that said that. I'm pretty sure he was a Dem. That's the first time I saw it. He's like Biden should step down, let Kamala be the president, so she doesn't have to preside over her own loss in the Senate or in the House.
Transfer power.
And he's like, give everybody what we want. We want Kamala for president or something like that. Yeah, that's wild.
Oh my God, dude. You know what? At this point, why the fuck not? Who cares? Who cares anymore?
Yo,
who cares?
Biden doesn't care.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Who cares?
I think he's kind of happy she lost.
I mean, he's the one who endorsed her.
But what I'm saying is he's gonna be like, I told you so. Like I should have just run because you still got that like weird. There's a couple of people that are like, oh, we should have just kept Biden. We should have just ran Biden.
Let's be real.
He beat him last time.
Let's be real. He didn't find out she lost until like a few days ago.
Oh, dude, he probably forgot.
He probably already forgot.
He's probably just like, okay, so what are we gonna do next year, guys?
All right, he's like, Kamala, you need me to give a stump speech, and she's like, the campaign's over, Joe.
The campaign's over. Oh, we did it, Joe.
Yeah,
Joe.
We won.
We did it.
We
did it, Joe. But dude, who cares anymore? I mean, like, it's going to be. I mean, the Supreme Court's going to be locked up for decades. 2026 might move something. I don't know. It depends on what the whole ball is all in his court. We'll just see what happens. I tell people who ask me, it's just like, what now? I'm just like, you just focus on you and yours. That's all you can do.
I mean, yeah, what else are you going to do? Don't shave your head. It's not worth it.
The 2B movement or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I don't even know what the B stands for.
Man,
but
you're the resident Korean expert.
Hold on. Who what's happening? People are shaving their head for what?
Some women who are upset are turning celibate to punish men for voting for Trump.
Yeah. And they're shaving their heads and stuff and like wearing masks.
It's like inspired from some movement that was happening in South Korea.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So there's
like 8 people on Twitter that are doing
extreme. They were extreme.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The extreme. It's not Twitter anymore. It's Blue Sky. They're all on Blue Sky now.
What's Blue Sky?
Blue Sky is Jack's second social media after he left Twitter.
Oh, he made another one?
Yeah, Blue Sky. It used to be invite only, which I got one, but now it's open.
Oh, I'm not joining that. I've never heard of it.
I joined it once just to do alternative because Twitter is pretty fucking toxic. It kind of drains the life out of you a little bit the more you're on it, and everyone.
Yeah, that's why I never get on it.
That's why you had to join it on the toxicity.
No, that's why I never get on it. I need just nothing but peace in my life.
And it's going to be wild. Like pretty much an arm of the government at this point.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I mean, I just don't see how it's not going to be. I mean, he's
Yeah,
already.
definitely-
I mean, he's already letting Elon in on calls for like foreign policy.
Yeah, it is very interesting. It's an interesting move.
It's definitely an interesting move to become the boogeyman George Soros.
Yeah, and I mean, Trump's always been known to kind of take a lot of like outside counsel, I would say. But still, at the end of the day, Trump's going to do what Trump's going to do. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see if he does. I can imagine it's going to be a funny fallout because those are two very big egos.
yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Next 2 years at the very least.
Yeah, the next 2 years should be pretty good. All right. I think that's all the time we have left. Thank you guys for tuning into Back Society. This is Jay signing off.
This is us.
And see money, man.
Peace.
Later.
Bye.